Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. Despite declaring himself the Maroon Emperor, popular entertainment personality turned businessman Horace L.A. Lewis has not always had the best of relationships with the Maroon community, especially the ones considered to be the official representatives. To say Lewis has had a contentious relationship with current Maroon chief Richard Curry would be an understatement. While Curry is seemingly just ignoring Lewis, the verbose Lewis, who is known to speak his mind in colorful terms to just about anyone, including the nation's political leaders, has been beating the more polished Curry like a drum on social media, accusing him of a range of distasteful and scandalous activities. Interestingly, Curry is not the only Maroon leader who has felt the wrath of Lewis's uncontrollable tongue, which he easily wraps around the words he creates to address situations for which he is not able to find an appropriate English word. In 2020, Lewis got into a bitter war of words with the then Accompong leader, Colonel Fearon Williams, Curry's predecessor. The situation got so contentious that it was brought to the attention of the Maroon Council of Elders. Following a meeting of the elders, a decision was taken that should Lewis, who was then an occasional visitor to the Accompong Town community, would be publicly flogged should he be seen there. Williams' statement about flogging Lewis angered the self-styled Guzoman, who immediately called on the wrath of the ancestors and Williams, while predicting that Williams' days as colonel at Accompong were numbered, as he would soon be replaced. That proclamation became a reality when Williams lost to Curry in the subsequent Maroon elections. In this edition of Lest You Forget, we will be looking back at that colourful spat between Lewis and Williams from a story I wrote for the Gleaner, which was published on December 25, 2020, under the headline, Maroons Threaten to Flog L.A. Lewis. The story read as follows. Popular entertainment personality Horace L.A. Lewis could be in for a beating in keeping with local Maroon traditions should he show up in Accompong Town, St. Elizabeth ever again. Colonel Fearon Williams has labelled Lewis a troublemaker for ascribing to himself Maroon heritage. According to Williams, Lewis showed up in the Accompong community 3 years ago, making overtures seeking support. The colonel said Lewis made similar pitches in the Maroon enclaves of Moortown and Charlestown and was also rejected. However, Williams said Lewis found favour with the then colonel in Scotts Hall. Before long, he had a falling out with the colonel, and he subsequently claimed that he had taken over and was now in charge. That colonel has since been voted out, and a new colonel is in place, so Lewis is really an imposter, Williams told the Gleaner. According to Williams, the charismatic Lewis, who was born in Trenchtown, Kingston, is not a Maroon by either family ties or birth, Williams said at a recent meeting of the Maroon Council, the leadership of Jamaica's 4 Maroon communities. We have thrown him out of Accompong 3 times in the past, and if he is caught in the community again, he will be tried under the Maroon law, and if found guilty, he will be subject to a flogging with the Cat o' Nine, which remains part of our Maroon law and tradition, said Williams, a former policeman. Lewis recently declared himself the Secretary of State and Paramount Chief of the Nyankipong Maroons, but Williams said that no such organization exists. He has also questioned the reported issuance of Maroon passports by Lewis. There is no legitimate Maroon organization with the name Nyankipong, and we want to disassociate the Maroon community from it, said Williams, who also expressed concern about what he called disparaging remarks being made by the Nyankipong group against Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the Maroon Council, the Chinese government, and the British government. While efforts by the Gleaner to reach Lewis for a reaction to Williams' comments were unsuccessful, the man who dubs himself the 7-star general has always been claiming Maroon heritage. At a recent St. Catherine demonstration by Nyankipong, Lewis claimed that the organization has been in existence for hundreds of years and was now seeking to reassert itself. He alleged that the group was based on Constant Spring Road in Kingston and has international membership. So, anywhere in the world you are, you can now get your Maroon identification card, birth paper, and other documents, said Lewis. So far, 286,000 persons have already signed up. Lewis is well known for his flamboyance and a predilection for embellishment in publicity-seeking actions. His bombastic claims and humorous expressions have brought him cult status locally. However, Williams doesn't find the comic routine funny. The Accompong has entertained ritualistic activities like the removal of skulls from graves, Williams said. No evidence was presented to corroborate that claim. We made a report to the police about Mr. Lewis and his followers to include the threats that he has made to the legitimate leadership of the Maroons, Williams told the Gleaner. We also want the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to investigate what Mr. Lewis is doing overseas in the name of the Maroon community. As was expected, Lewis came out swinging in a subsequent interview in which he threatened to file a $35 million lawsuit against Williams. That man needs to apologize to me, and I'm already in dialogue with my attorney. Him tell a lot of lies on me like him a try to defame my character. The talk that he's making about flogging is a threat as well. The colonel is saying that I am not a Maroon, but that is far from the truth, because every black man is a Maroon by skin and genes. I am a part of Accompong and every other Maroon place across the world, said Lewis. As laughable as this entire scenario might sound, it is definitely one of those unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica. Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. Before you go, please remember to subscribe.